Dad Cam.
What's cooking, Gumbo Nation? You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. And I'm your host, Dwayne Stein, the Gulf South Mortgage Authority. And this is your home show where for 7+ years we've been providing folks just like you education and option when it comes to your most valuable asset. If you're new to the show, welcome to the Gumbo Nation. If you want to join the show, 504-260-0995, or you can shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. We've got some questions lined up for you today that we will we'll be talking about. I've got one of the questions that I get is, hey, where do I see the housing market heading? So I'll give you my insight on that. Also, got some information I pulled. Each of the swankiest or richest subdivisions in each of the states that I operate in. So we'll share that. Pretty cool there. And then tell you why. I told you a couple weeks ago I was feeling a little bit of a silver lining. I'll kind of give you some insight on that as well, as we've got some data to back it up. But I start with, you may hear voices a little sore. Appreciate the Mater D last week stepping in as what a difference a week makes, right? For all of y'all that's been hanging out, that follow me on social media. If you don't, go join the Gumbo Nation Facebook group. If you're on social media right now, looks like we've got quite a few people on there. Hey, just aim your camera at that little QR code, and that'll take you right to Mortgage Gumbo TV with 300+ podcasts, which we are in the process right now of getting all separated for you by category, playlists, all that to make things much, much easier. But last week, Dave filled in. We were playing ball in the quarterfinals to see about going to state. We won that. And so just pure euphoria. So this week headed to Sulphur on Wednesday, and then we played Thursday. And if we would have won, I'd probably be doing this show from Lake Charles or from Sulphur, which is a little bit west of Lake Charles. But unfortunately, we lost the Titans, and went to the semifinals, Final Four in our class, which is fantastic. Super proud. Couldn't be more happy with that. But South Terrebonne beat us 4-0. And it's probably, and anybody that watches sports or has had kids a part of sports, it's only natural to go, well, if we shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? Second-guess coaches, second-guess this and that. This was probably the first game in my entire life I've ever been part of where you just tip your cap to the other team and say, good job. We lost 4-0. We had 0. And I'm talking about us as Lakeshore batters. None of our kids struck out. We committed no errors. We hit the ball hard, but literally right at them. And you know what? Kudos. Last weekend we beat Assumption. So now we were playing South Terrebonne, which I'll get to South Terrebonne in a second. And hit the ball right at them, and you know what? They just made the plays. Right? Sometimes you're like, all right, hey, let's see what's going to happen. These kids just made the plays. So you lose 4-0, and you go, man, what happened? Well, you got to give, a shout-out to that pitcher, did a great job. our pitcher did a great job. I mean, literally. And, just one of those things. And been crushing the ball, hitting the ball, and just the kids were relaxed. The moment wasn't too big. When you looked into their eyes, they wasn't like, oh, my gosh, are we ready for this? It was none of that. But at the end of the day, you just tip your cap to South Terrebonne and go, great job. But for Lakeshore, look, this is fantastic, and we look forward to challenging again next year. We lost 2 seniors, Sauber and Steed, great kids, great leaders on the team, so be tough to replace them, but we've got a solid team heading into next year, right? So, I'll never understand why you play series, best 2 out of 3, and then you get to state semifinals and it's a 1-game deal. But I guess maybe that's spoken like a loser, right, as a guy who lost. So, I don't understand. There's rumors that they're going to get back to that. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it would extend the season 1 week. If we were playing 2 out of 3 this week and then next week for state 2 out of 3. But it is what it is. So you tip your cap. You thank the coaches for Lakeshore. They did a good job this year with the kids. And, turn around and next week off. And then hey, not even next week. They start next week. And then in 3 weeks, Summer League starts. And here we go. And football. And that's a little bit of a tough situation right now for us over at Lakeshore. Craig Jones, phenomenal football coach, is leaving. He's heading over to Mandeville. That's his home school. So, got to respect that. So now we got to wait. Now we got to wait till, I don't know, they said something about job fairs. I don't know how all that school stuff works. I just try to pass and move on, right? Let the administration, and I got no doubts April Jarrow and her staff will do a good job there. So good job. Kudos. Proud, especially proud of G Unit. Look, kid, not going to go over his stats, but they were fantastic. Amazing. Got an opportunity to really be inked into the lineup over the last 3 weeks and took full advantage of it and did a great job. So proud of my son as well. Now, let's talk about just some reality, right? And, and of course on this show, look, our theme is all about we're going to be happy. And let me tell you why. Because this is where you kind of realize, and let's talk about South Terrebonne first, right? These are teams down in the Houma area. They got mauled last year. They are still recovering. So you have a team, South Terrebonne, that we lost to, and as you're talking to the parents and you start hearing their story, these kids are splitting a school right now. Right? They're on a split schedule because their school's still destroyed. They're having to practice on another team's field because their school's still destroyed. And everybody's affected by right now the inflation, which we'll get into that, the number 8.3. And, look, not good. We're heading for a recession. I've been telling y'all that. It's no secret. If you've been listening to the show for a while and following me. But with that being said, you hear about things like that, and how can you not pull for these folks? Right? How can you not go, wow? Just everything that they're having to overcome, going to school at a different school that's not their school, split schedule, practicing where it's not their field, and out there competing, and just a solid program. So I want to make sure I give direct kudos to them, to that school. I mean, just to be able to keep everybody together on that is straight up just amazing. Amazing. So then you take our trip out to Sulphur, right? And you forget very quickly that just 2 years ago, this is a city that got hit by not one but 2 hurricanes in a 3-week period. And you drive into the city, and they used to have this, they got this big, it used to be a Capital One building. It was Hibernia years ago, so the windows are green and all that. And just, I mean, it's kind of, I guess, Lake Charles' skyline outside of all the industrial work from the, the refineries and everything. And 2 years later, we're sitting here seeing things boarded up. You're seeing hotels that are still being worked on that are absolutely gutted. We stayed at a hotel, the DoubleTree, which amazing. If you ever go there, Sulphur, ex for Terry, she was fantastic, but just opened back up in March. So everything going on, right? Everything going on in the world and what we're watching, and then we sit here and look at back home and go, wow. You look at South Terrebonne. You look at what's going on in Sulphur. I mean, literally, the hotels were either absolutely brand new or they were gutting the old ones, right? Because I guess in a year and a half, maybe they were able to get some of these hotels up and running. And, look, we deal with it with fast food restaurants. Well, I got to know the director of sales, Terry, there pretty well because helping out with the boys with their rooms and all that. Staffing, right? Almost impossible. And so you got people doing 2 or 3 jobs. And really, it was just amazing. And when you're driving into these cities of Westlake and Sulphur and as you're getting into the towns, and you're seeing still blue roofs and all that. And I know we're still dealing with it here locally from Ida. But this is 2 years ago. And it really just sort of puts things into perspective. And it makes me sit back and go, you know what? As crazy as everything is, we still got a lot to be thankful for. Right? We got a lot to be thankful for, and, things are gonna improve slowly but surely. I've got some numbers that are going to talk about that as far as it comes to home ownership. But I just, my cap, number one, to Lakeshore and the coaches, and the team, who all dyed their hair blonde, team blonding and all that, it all worked. But to South Terrebonne, just your resilience, and to the folks there, and out to Sulphur as well. So on the other side of the break, we got more for you. Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein. If you want to join the show, 504-260-0995.
Because I'm happy. Come on if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy.
Welcome back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. 504-260-0995. This segment's brought to you by The Fence King. Visit FenceThisYard.com. Fence King is now doing aluminum fencing. You want fancy New Orleans style look, decorative style fence without all the worry of weathering, rust, maintenance? The Fence King has it, and he could take care of it for you now. You want a normal fence? He's got product. Not like some of these other folks who have it out. He's got a yard full. The Fence King stays ahead of it. Visit FenceThisYard.com, and he even offers a warranty with all his work. That's FenceThisYard.com. You know, a couple things I think we've got to look at right now. And Gumbo Nation, you know, it was put into perspective when you sit here and you think about, oh, my God, what's going on with the inflation? What's going on with, headed to a recession? How about the fact that we're probably in this area, in the Gulf Coast, coming off of our best April in a long time, in at least 2 years. Right? French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest. Hey, over on the Gulf Coast, Cannabis Fest. But all these things that people being able to get together again and just smile and network and tell stories about, hey, what you been up to, how you been doing. That's kind of a reason for me to sort of take a step back and go, you know what? We got that Gulf Coast pride. And even like I just mentioned, Terrebonne and Sulphur. You know, Sulphur's still hosting the state championships. They're making it happen. Terrebonne's still competing. They're playing for a state championship today. So, you know, when you start looking at these things, that is where you just realize whatever else is going on in the world, good for y'all. But I feel like we hold up a sign that says, we got this, right? We're resilient folks. And at the end of the day, it's all about just what's your fabric. And there's no tornadoes, there's no hurricanes, there's none of those things that are going to keep us from absolutely moving forward. And, you know, that's why I'm proud of where I'm from. And, you know, all this other home stuff, it's all working itself out. It's all going to work itself out. This recession, all that, yes, we're going to talk about that. But it's going to work itself out, and especially for us. Because at the end of the day, there's nobody stops us, right? We're still going to boil crawfish today. We're still going to have graduation parties. We're still going to go to festivals. And we're going to continue to just plug away. Hey, that's good what y'all doing over there. Here's what we got going on. You want to put the Gulf Coast on an island? That's fine. We'll rock and roll. We're good to go. So that's my message. That's why you're going to hear happy music. We're going to be happy. Right? We got a lot to be happy for. And we're going to continue to plug away. And, I mean, just something to add for y'all to be happy about is you got Mortgage Gumbo. That's guiding you. Think about everybody else that don't have somebody to sit here. I am going to guide you, folks. I am going to help you understand where we're at, where we're going, how to charter through these choppy waters. I've been here and done that. Right? When I was doing this back in the 90s, thought, oh, my God, this is the worst ever. Just got a question. Hey, are we headed back for, is this resembling 08, 09? No. And I can tell you why. If we get a chance, I'll get to that. But, you know, when 8 homeowners this week alone, and now I say homeowners, and they're sending me texts saying, hey, I know you're watching your son's game right now, but we just closed, and I can remember sitting on a bar stool listening to you at my house having breakfast, and I felt like you challenged me to reach out to Snap, Send, and Save, and my credit wasn't there. And then Chris signed this week. Another lady that we helped out get rid of $700 a month in debt. Saving her $700 a month on a fixed income. Another person that became a homeowner, one of the other stories this week that got turned down by somebody else that came to us. So that's what's going to keep me motivated for y'all. That's what's going to keep me motivated. But it's time to be happy. We got a lot of great things going on. A lot of great things. Check this out. Most expensive suburbs in your state. Hernando, Mississippi. The median sale value in Mississippi in Hernando, $359,000. Brentwood, for my folks I'm doing loans with, outside of Nashville. Brentwood, median home value, $1.28 million. West University Place, Texas, $1.3 million. Alabama, look at you. Mountain Brook, right outside of Birmingham, $720,000. It's the most expensive suburb. Palm Beach, no surprise here, $2.2 million. Oak Hills, for my Baton Rouge station, we hear you. 21 homes sold in Oak Hills Place in Baton Rouge. Median sales price, $390,000. St. Matthews, Kentucky, out of all the suburbs, cheapest, $338,000. Most expensive, you can imagine, is in California. Montecito, right on the other side of San Fran. I believe it's San Fran. $5.6 million. So, some fun info there. If you're living in those towns, congrats. You're doing pretty good. You're living in the highest valued suburbs in your state. I put that when they get that goes in my fun stuff, but we'll never use it again, so there's no bother to even save it. All right, let's get into our weekly segment we like to call Rate Watch. Rate Watch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. It's America's first handcrafted vodka. Last week, if I'd have been on the show, I'd have been telling you rates were 5.64, which would have been up almost a quarter from the previous week of 5.41. Last week, I'd have been telling you 4.91 for a 15-year. I'd have been telling you 5.20 for FHA. I'd have been telling you 4.75 for a jumbo. I'd have been telling you 4.68 for a 5.1. So the reason why I bring up last week is we don't want to live in the past, but even though I wasn't here, let's listen to this week. Last week, 30-year 5.64. This week, 5.38. We like that trend. Now, it's right back where it was 3 weeks ago, but it's better than building off of the 5.64. And we'll get into a little bit of the whys after. 4.79 on a 15, down from 4.91. That's right, the 15-year was almost 5%. FHA, 5.20, down to 5. Jumbo stayed exactly the same at 4.75. 5.1 ARM was at 4.68, at 4.60, and VAs is in the 4s. So my point is, when you get a little bit of this reprieve, right? We know the Fed spoke. We talked about that. When you get a little bit of this reprieve, are you in a position to attack? And right now, you know what? I'll get to this on the other side of the break. I'm going to give you what my guidance has been for the people that I'm speaking to and who I'm working with, and the importance of other than just interest rate. Hey, you're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio, 504-260-0995.
Days, Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days, Thursday, Friday, happy days, the weekend comes,
you know why? Because we're happy. Because we're from Knowledge. We're from the Gulf Coast. We got a lot to be thankful for. It's festival time. Kids are graduating. We got graduation parties going on. Crawfish, barrels. we look for reasons to celebrate. And you know what? The masks are off, and we're taking full advantage of it. Hey, this segment's brought to you by Homeshine MD. We make house calls. Visit homeshinemd.com. Listen, it's summertime. You want to have people over? Your house is ugly, folks. It's ugly outside. Give her a little sparkle. Get rid of that grime. Be proud. Give her the checkup she needs. Hey, you might even add some value to your home by cleaning her up, especially if you're thinking about selling your home. Like so many people are doing, call Homeshine MD or go visit homeshinemd.com. Let us clean that house up before you look to list it. Bring back your home shine and protect it. Give it the facelift it deserves. Services meant to beautify your home. Visit homeshinemd.com. So, excuse me, folks. So, as I was stating before the break, right? Happy. Be happy. Look, I do loans for a living, okay? I know some of y'all are probably like, I mean, dude, you sure you don't model or, anything like that? No, I don't. Sorry. GQ contract expired at birth. But I'm a mortgage advisor. That's the dude I am. But I also, the reason why you listen and we have the success we have is we keep it real, right? iHeart's like, how in the heck do you have listeners on a Saturday talking about mortgages? You know why? We're the Gulf Coast, and we keep it real. But I also understand what we're thinking, right? And it's not that people don't want to buy houses right now, right? And we talk about, you hear me talking about, hey, rates up, so what? Or rates up, now what? I'm going to start putting behind that. We're from New Orleans and the Gulf Coast. But with that being said, outside of just being a cheerleader, I get it. And it's not that people right now are going, hey, I'm not sure if I want to buy, because guess what? I'm getting applications every day. And if you're serious, and we've talked about this, then people are taking advantage. 15% of home sellers. That's what it's up to now. 15% of home sellers have started to drop their asking price. Home values are still up year over year, which is a win for everybody. But home sellers are starting to drop their prices. And that's a win. So what keeps people on the sideline? It's simple, right? It's fear, uncertainty, doubt. What's happening? There's recession. They're pounding this inflation. You feel it. I know you feel it because you go to the grocery store, everything's more expensive. The numbers for inflation just came out, 8.3. Down from 8.5 in March, 40-year high still. So you don't know what to believe, how do I believe, and I get it. Look, fear of death is worse than death itself, right? I mean, it's that simple. And not knowing what's your uncertainty, right? Because they're talking about the labor market and then just doubt. Can I afford, to buy right now? And that's where, folks, that's why we created SnapSendAndSave.com. And I'm not going to go get on a high horse here, but you're missing out if you just don't go check out the site. You're really missing out. We can let you know what the value of your home is. And these are all free services. Well, I'm not sure about my credit. Hey, click on the credit link. We have these services set up because I understand, and we put these in place a couple months ago, folks, because I know what's going on. I've been here, and we're going to guide you through this. And right now, what it comes down to is payment. Payment, payment, payment. And that's where the advice I'm giving is, if you can afford it, are you willing to pay it? Because you're still going to pay rent, but are you willing to pay what the payment is, regardless of the number on a piece of paper known as an interest rate? And next week we may talk about them, a breakdown APR and versus interest rate, helping you kind of understand. Because there's some shady folks out there, but I'm happy. There's some shady folks on what they're doing to folks. But what you got to understand is, I get it. It's that fear, uncertainty, that doubt. So visit snapsendandsave.com. Find out, is there anything there? Look, you heard me talk about interest rates fell by almost 30 basis points this week. Were you ready to take advantage of it? And the answer is probably no. But again, that's where Snap, Send, and Save get pre-approved. Just find out what your buying power is, ladies and gentlemen. It costs you nothing. And it's good for 120 days. So as we start to see, home sellers have dropped their asking price, grew to 15% in the 4 weeks ending for May. That's the highest share in 6 months. It's up 9% from last year. So maybe when that house, that opportunity, that neighborhood presents itself, boom, you can pounce. And a lot of you I get, and I'm thankful for the Gumbo Nation. And a lot of folks are like, hey, I need to get pre-approved. There's a house I want to go look at. And it's unfortunate, but guess what? By the time you go look at that house, it's going to be gone. And that's why you need that quality realtor. That's why you need that quality lender to let you know exactly what you're qualified for. How many of you right now have talked to a lender in the last 2 years or know someone and it didn't wind up being what they said it was going to be? The good news is that's going to go away. I have a client right now that we were working with, and I know she's listening, and it is what it is. Didn't like what we told her back in March. Didn't like it. Told her, you're not qualified. You need to do this, this, and this. Didn't like it. So went somewhere else. That person said, yeah, that's fine. Didn't vet him, didn't do anything. Well, see, now, unfortunately, I know the seller. So the seller called me and said, can you look at this? I'm in Sulphur. Can you look at it? So at first I didn't recognize the name. Yeah, that's fine. Looked at it, and guess what? It's not a loan. But they went somewhere where they could hear it. So you want to know what's unfortunate for this? The seller agent who called me on the home that was hoping that this home sold, not only are they not going to get to sell their home, they're probably going to lose out on the home that they were going to buy because they were moving out of state to go move by their kids. All because why? People don't know what they're doing. And I get that's where the fear comes in. So I know when y'all hear me saying snapsendandsave.com and Charlie Craver, whatever your name is, of the guy who told me, everybody hates your commercials. You're an idiot. Thanks for the troll, brother. I don't think everybody does. Because 99.9% of the time when I see somebody, they hit me with a dad cam. So I'm not trying to shove it down your throat. I'm trying to let you know there's a life raft out there for you. There's no pride in wondering. I don't care if you've been turned down by somebody else. Let's take a peek. Let's put a program together for you. That's what you deserve. Everybody deserves the why. So I want to alleviate that fear, that uncertainty, that doubt. I want to help you with that. And if today you're not ready, then let's let you at least know what direction you need to be heading in. Because Mortgage Gumbo, we're not going anywhere. We're going to we're ripping right through this tide. All I did was, trim down the motor a little bit, and we're getting on top of the waves. That's what we're doing right now. We're not taking a beating like all these other folks. Laying off 25% of their work staff because they were in it for them. At Mortgage Gumbo, there's an acronym. It's called WIFM, and we don't play by that rule. We're not a what's in it for me company. We're a what's in it for them. That's why we're here. That's why I've been here 30 years. That's why I've seen these peaks and valleys and come out stronger every single time, and you will too. On the other side of the break, I'm going to answer a couple questions and give you some insight as well. Of course I am. Of course I'm going to give you insight. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein, 504-260-0995.
All right, this is a short break. We only got 45 seconds left.
All right. It out. You might be in your car right now heading to a little graduation or getting all dolled up for a little party today, some little festival somewhere. These are good times. It's a great time of year. Besides having to change your shirt 4 to 8 times, it is what it is. A little chafing here and there, but so what? We know what we're doing. We're from the Gulf Coast. So, look, the Fed's going to meet 5 more times this year, folks. They're going to keep raising interest rates. You're going to start hearing the word recession. We're going into a recession. We want it sooner than later because once that recession happens, then it's almost like the eye of a hurricane, right? Bring it. Then it's like, Then you get a little pain. A little more pain, then it's better. See, right now, what you got going on is, hey, it's sort of the beginning of the hurricane. And you just built this beautiful new home, right? And you're like, oh, my gosh. So you're checking your policies. You're checking everything to see where you're at. You're going to be fine. But more Fed hikes are coming. So what does that mean? Look, let's keep it real. I'm going to give you the talk I give my son, who's 16. And, fortunately for him, there's a tree in the backyard, right? A lot of us know we may date or be married to folks like that. That little money tree in the back that just keeps sprouting 50s, 100s, and 20s. But right now is a great time for you to really just kind of get a grip on, hey, where are you at? Because those credit card payments, you're going to start to see it on your next statement, your next cycle. So be smart on those purchases. If they're a bigger purchase, not saying you got to stop spending, but make sure you make it maybe the day after your cycle ends. So then you get almost 60 days of freeness, like I tell y'all around Christmas time. Those short-term loans are going to go up. Those HELOCs, be careful. Student loans, those things when they got to start being paid, that's all stuff that's supposed to start happening in August. So you're going to see a lot of different things happening. So sit yourself down. You know what? I may even put together a webinar, a budget webinar. That way you kind of know what to look at, just to give you some foundation. But one question I got, do you think we are headed for a housing crash like 08 and 09? No. And I've answered this on the show a couple times, but I think it's important because it's what a lot of people think, right? Fear, uncertainty, doubt. No, we're not. Why? Because homes have equity in them. More homes now than ever are not underwater. More homes now than ever are free and clear. More buyers than ever have higher credit scores. Which means they got better loans than they got in 05 and 06, which led to the 08, 09 crash when you were fogging mirrors and buying 3 or 4 houses. The lending is much, much better. People are staying in place much longer. We talked about it, average tenure 13 years. And that's why I want to, for a split second, tell you, if there's a house that you want, let's talk about it. Because even if it's not your forever home, we know for a fact, chances are right now, that any loan that you get is not a forever loan. So don't miss out on that house you want. Because once this recession, now look, I can't tell you when it's going to end. But if you have the means and the ability, there's nothing stronger than home ownership. You're going to have double-digit returns on money again this year. On your mortgage. So the opportunities are there. So again, that's why I tell you, do not sit back. Just told you, 15% more people are lowering their prices. So it's not about that number on a piece of paper. I could sit here and tell you all day long. Is it ugly? To folks who are new to this home buying, yes, it is. To me, who used to give 8.5% rates, this isn't ugly. To those who, and when I was doing 8.5% interest rates, people having to put down 10, 15, 20%. Now you could do 3%. But what you do have to get a grip on is this. Those government plans, those government options, probably not going to be able to afford those, unfortunately. Those are probably going to be, and not that you can't afford it, but you're going to get told no, not qualify. They're making that tougher. See, the Fed's got to get away from giving money out right now. They're getting away from it. That's why they're selling the bonds. Now, why did we get such a nice break this week? I'll tell you why. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You see what the stock market's doing? And at the end of the day, folks, mortgage bonds are safe and safer than ever. So when you ask me, hey, are we heading for 08, 09? No. Because people are paying their mortgages. Even somebody right now that, let's say it's a worst case scenario, and they're having to consider foreclosure. I told a client this week, they called me. They're like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to get foreclosed on because I took forbearance and I can't make my payment. And they're telling me I got to start making a payment and I can't pay it. I'm like, why are you going to get foreclosed on? Just put your house for sale. Again, it's a mirror check, right? I can't look in the mirror and be The Rock. What a Rock, baby. Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, no shot. So you got to be real with yourself when I'm talking about earlier with that sit down. And I guarantee you could figure out how to, someone, or again, go to SnapSendAndSave.com for free. I will let you know what the value of your home is and let you know how you could get it marketed and stuff like that.
2 minutes.
So that's what I want you to understand. Don't take the path of least resistance of going, well, I'll just get foreclosed on. I'll stay in this house until. Don't let your credit go to poop. Dust yourself off, and I get it. Everybody's situation's different. Listen, I understand. But call me and let's talk about it. Snap, Send, and Save, DACAM, click on services. We can discuss it. But why are we not 08, 09? Because that person right now that even was calling me going, well, if you can't help me, then I guess I'm going to have to look at foreclosure. No. They had $50-something thousand in equity after the year and a half of forbearance, adding all the interest.
1 minute.
Sell it, get out, and rock and roll. Folks, be happy. I'm here for you. We got this. Go out. Enjoy your weekend. Go to SnapSendAndSave.com. Go follow me on the Facebook Mortgage Gumbo Facebook group page called Gumbo Nation. Go to YouTube and type in Mortgage Gumbo TV. More than 300 videos there for you to help you with education. I got you. Until next week, Gumbo Nation. Keep stirring the pot.